Okay, hey, I want to give a few more people a chance to come in. This was a unexpected vlog that I wanted to do on lupus flare-ups, as I have suffered another one, and it was quite significant. And I don't want anyone to have to go through what I have gone through. Just wanting to give you some information that will certainly get you through the episode, and additionally, it can get you to the place where you can have a healthy body and healthy cells. So let's look into this flare up. So now, pardon me, as many of you know, I was diagnosed with mild lupus and arthritis in September of last year. And the diagnosis was, well, I got it from my doctor after I had had a severe flare up and didn't know what was going on, thought it was arthritis, and nothing that I did was working. So that's why she tested me, and it was concluded that it was indeed mild lupus. All right, so what I talked to her about was how it could be managed. And the first thing she wanted to offer me was I think it's hydroxychloroquine, the whatever the medication was that they were using while people were in the epidemic or the pandemic. That was one of the medications that was used for the treatment. Now, because it was induced by, I believe it was induced by a vaccine. I didn't want to take a vaccine to get rid of it. But last night's flare up was very, very critical. It was a real episode, and it was unexpected for a few reasons. But then now I've learned some things that will cause a flare up no matter what you're doing. So I wanted to come to you with that. So now, the first thing that I want to say is that you can be healed of lupus. You can be healed of Sjogren's disease. Your body can reverse the stages of MS. You also can reverse uh, diabetes. These are all things that are directly related with the health and the function of the kidneys. My qualm is that the medical profession will tell you that once you have it, you will have it for life. And they never seem to want to have a discussion about potential um, natural solutions to these problems. So I just began to look into it, and as I told you before, I got a book. My son suggested a book, and it's called Goodbye Lupus. So let me put that in there for you. I think it's by Dr. Robin Goldner. Um, she was a 16-year-old diagnosed with lupus. She had blood clots. She was having flare ups all the time. She was in stage 4 kidney disease, and she suffered. She suffered pretty bad, but she went ahead and tried to find a cure, and she became a doctor, and she got into the nutrition of it all and found a way to heal herself. She is now 46 and has not had a flare up in 27 years. So she is doing very well, and because she's doing so well, she's putting this information out there. And I just want people to consider that there may be a solution that won't require that you take medication, have treatments, be hospitalized, and usually, if you know, like I know, a lot of times there's a decline. Every time you come back in, you get treated, but you never really are bouncing back to where you were in the beginning. And there seems to be a little bit of a spiral. So let's avoid that and let's just try something else, because we've seen the route that those things have taken now. Because I have lupus and I have been healthy all my life. Both my parents have had diabetes. My mother was hypertensive. My father had epilepsy. I got none of their diseases. None of their sicknesses came upon me. My mother had sickle cell anemia, and she was just, a sick little lady, and I got none of their diseases. So I get to this point in life where I get in my upper 60s and I get diagnosed with this. So my determination, because I am a chaplain and because I have worked in hospitals and I've seen how depending on medication can be very, very, well, it can be very disappointing because sometimes it just doesn't work as fast, or sometimes there are just absolutely too many side effects. We expect that there'll be side effects, but some are just too many side effects. If you are taking, and the medical profession will confirm this, if you are taking four, a minimum of four or more medications, that's dangerous all by itself, regardless of what they are, because those medications are in your body and they're doing things to your cells, and sometimes they're interacting, and sometimes it's a very, it can be catastrophic or fatal. So let's talk about natural cures, and let's talk about this flare up I had last night. So I had been doing pretty well. I had been continuing with um, my diet. All right. I kind of got off of it a little bit, try a little this, have a little fun with that, treat myself to this. But I quickly got back on it and I began to just eat lots of vegetables because raw vegetables provide the nutrients to get down into the cells and assist the cells in function. And if you continue that, raw vegetables, and get away from the animal byproducts, it can repair the cells, which results in reversal of the disease. That's what this book is about, Goodbye Lupus. Let me put it up there. And the author's name is Robin Goldner. Pardon me. You can even go online and you can find her. Let me put her name in there, by Robin Goldner, and you can find her. She does videos all the time. She does question and answers. So if you just want to sit back and watch, do that. Okay, by Dr. Robin Goldner. Somehow people feel that, if there's a MD associated with your name, that there's more credibility. But a lot of them that have the MD do not tell you about this. This doctor did. All right, her name is Robin. I think it is Robin Goldner. All right. All right. Now listen. So anyway, you can be cured. All right. That's the first thing. And that should be the celebratory part of your day. Especially if you have been suffering relentlessly with um, any of these diseases, diabetes, Sjogren's, psoriasis, multiple sclerosis, um, lupus, arthritis. There are many of them. All right, let's go into what happened. So again, I have been working toward keeping a healthy diet because I didn't want to have another flare up. I had a flare up a few weeks ago and it was severe. It just felt like my kidney was just so inflamed that it was just going to burst and that poison was going to go through my system. These were the thoughts behind the pain that I was experiencing. But my husband did kind of massage that part of my back, and it gave me some comfort, and I finally went to sleep. But last night I had a severe flare up. All right, it was with the same kidney as my right kidney. I don't know why. Let me tell you this: lupus is the disease that it produces antigens because the body thinks something foreign is there and it attacks it to cause the body to heal itself. But there's a miscommunication and there's a disconnect with reality when there's lupus, because those very same antigens that are in your body are saying there is something foreign right there, and it begins to attack it to drive it out of the body. It could be the kidneys, it could be the heart, it can be the brain, it can be your skin, that's your largest organ, it can be your eyes. All right, so anything. So a lot of people will have it inwardly, which will be those organs that I mentioned, or some people will have an external. and that would be your skin where you have rashes, and your eyes where there's dryness, and even your hair where you can begin to come up with patches of alopecia. So it's a very dangerous disease because if it attacks your heart, you can have a heart attack. It can go that extreme. If it attacks your lungs, then you can have respiratory distress and decline, COPD, fluid in the lungs, all kinds of things that are just absolutely frightening when it comes to not being able to breathe. That's a frightening thought. It can attack your kidneys and you can go into kidney failure. And that is what happened to this doctor. So now, last night, um, for some reason, whenever I have a flare up, it always seems to do two things. It will give me rashes on the back of my neck, so it attacks me on the outside, and then it will cause severe, like just tormenting pain in my right kidney. So that's what I was having last night, the pain in the kidney. So I thought maybe turn over off of this side and give that side a break and you'll feel better. And it got worse. And it got so bad that I had to get up and try to find relief walking around. And then it gets to the place where nothing's helping. I was afraid to take medication because I thought it would just overwork the kidney and would become more painful. God bless you, Bridget Brown. God bless you. And I was terrified to eat. So I started losing weight because I said, I can't eat that because I can't go through another one of those painful episodes. Well, one happened last night, even as careful as I had been. Now, I found out that in her book, she says, you be sure to eat 1 pound of raw vegetables. It's called hypernutrition. 1 pound of hypernutrition or 1 pound of raw vegetables a day. So I bought a lot of vegetables and I packaged them up and weighed them, put them in the refrigerator, and found out in short order it's not easy to eat a pound of vegetables a day, especially if you're used to eating something that's really sumptuous and delicious and seasoned. God bless you, dear. Um, it's something that, is really, for the palate. But I had to stop looking at the palate and consider the health of my cells in my body. So I said, well, that's hard and I'm failing in it because I don't keep up with it because I don't like it. So what I started doing is eating salads, all kinds of salads, because salads are raw vegetables. Now, one vegetable you want to keep off of that salad is the tomato, because the tomato in the seeds as well as in the skin has lectins, and they can cause inflammation, which brings about the pain. All right, so I have my cauliflower. And I'll tell you more about them, my cauliflower, my broccoli, celery, and then there's some other things. Also, cucumbers, because I like those. And so I managed to get those into me by using just some salt and a little bit, and not just a little bit of salt, and then some of the Italian dressing, and marinate my my cucumbers in that probably for a day or so, and then I can just eat them or put them on the side of a dish when I'm eating. Just go ahead and get some of those fresh sliced and marinated cucumbers and put them on the side. So I was getting even better. I said, now what I'm going to do is get back to getting raw broccoli into me, and I was going to do it by way of just dip. So you can use avocados are good. It's fattening, but it's good fat. It's healthy for the body. So avocado dip or either a ranch dip, and I would just learn how to enjoy my raw vegetables that way. So I would take my broccoli, my celery, well, my broccoli, my celery, and my cucumbers and cauliflower. And I would eat that with either ranch dressing for a dip or guacamole because it's avocado. All right, so I'm doing better. And then I'm making sure I get a significant amount of raw vegetables into me every day and drinking a lot of water. So that was kind of keeping things moving along. And then my body was also feeling pretty good and strong. And I was losing weight. So some of the weight that was there because of poor dieting was now going away. So the problem with last night that caused this dreadful flare up was that I had went, God bless you, Melissa, I had, and I have on here, I want you to be considerate of this. If you are taking medications, now I said earlier, if you're taking more than 4 medications a day for whatever reason, that can cause you to be at risk for some type of decline in your health within just a couple of years. All right. So here, let's put this up. Medication, I want you to remember the number of things that they give you. So don't be so quick to allow them to say you need this and they write your prescription and add it to your regimen. Ask questions. You also want to, blessings, Lady Fikes. You also want to do your research on that medication. They gave my husband a prescription for a medication and we did the research and there were 3 pages of side effects. Now, your body has to metabolize this, and your kidneys have to filter this. So all of those chemicals and synthetics, and I don't know what's natural, but it's getting down into those cells. And yeah, it may do something like, make the headache go away, take down blood pressure to normal ranges, modify or regulate your cholesterol, but what is it doing to your cells on a long-term basis? And if it is affecting those cells so that they cannot function correctly, then they're not going to get to the place where they can be repaired. That's right, 4 or more. I don't care what it is. You want to make sure that you are careful with that. Now, here's where I went wrong. So I have in there procedures. All right, that's something I have not had a problem with or a concern or having to go and get procedures, but I had a colonoscopy. There are so many years that they give you between that particular exam so they can keep and monitor the inside of the lining of the intestines so that they can make sure there are no polyps, which lead to cancer. They can make sure that there are no other diseases like diverticulosis, which is little pits and holes or leaky areas in the gut. And so, well, the last one that I had about 13 years ago was they did find diverticulosis, but I never had a flare up. So this time I was claiming that I am not going to have diverticulosis and I'm not going to have polyps. So I went in for this colonoscopy. Here's the problem. I didn't think of it. But I want to tell you so you don't go through this. When you have the colonoscopy, they always want you to take the prep, which is the liquid, so that your intestines can just be squeaky clean and they can get good pictures and images of the inside of those intestines. Well, what it does is literally dries out the body. So it dries it out, it dehydrates you. And so now with the dehydrated skin, you're going to have problems, dehydrated eyes. Well, because I have lupus, I have to be concerned with that. Dehydrated eyes, I'm always putting drops in my eyes. So I said, that's got to stop. I've got to do something. And then also the dehydrated organs. Now, I had not thought about that. I said, well, I've been eating good. I had a good prep. And so this should be it should be a good colonoscopy. So anyway, the colonoscopy, when they woke me up, I'm telling you, first of all, that propofol hurt it Everything was nice. I didn't even know I had had a colonoscopy when I woke up. I woke up in the recovery room. But when they were putting the propofol in and put me to sleep, I tell you, it burned. And I complained like a little girl. And they turned the lights off, and pretty soon I went to sleep. Woke up in recovery. But when they went in, they found no polyps. So thank God for that. There's no polyps, so we're not looking at the potential of colon cancer. So that's good news. They said I have diverticulosis. Again, those pits or little dents in the lining of the intestines, which can, if something as small as a seed, and you know how tiny a chia seed is, or popcorn hulls, nuts, well, they don't get really liquefied and broken completely down, so they can get stuck in those little holes and pits and leaky areas in your gut called diverticulosis. And when they flare up, it's called diverticulitis. Itis meaning infection. And that's when people really suffer. So they said, well, I said, well, did you find diverticulosis? They said, well, you have diverticulosis. She had many pictures, and she started looking. She said, there's no pictures of it here, but once you get it, you'll always have it. Now, this doctor, Dr. Goldner, who I'll put hers back up again, and I'm going to tell you what to do to prevent these and to reverse these diseases in your body, because we just have to be a little smarter and get ahead of some of the things that are going on. All right, there she is. Robin Goldner, I believe it is. But anyway, the book is called Goodbye Lupus, and she does her segments online. I may get a notification that she's just going to come on and do a question and answer period. And she went through so many different things and told people, yes, we can get rid of that. Yes, I had cases like this. I've been doing this now for 14 years, and we have never had a problem getting rid of this disease or reversing that disease. So I want you to look her up and look up Goodbye Lupus and follow it and live. All right. So with the diverticulosis, she said you do still have it, but we don't see any pictures. And they took a lot of pictures and they didn't see any pictures of it. So you know what? I'm going to say to myself, just continue to take this hypernutrition, which assists and repairs the cells, all right, so that the body can heal itself. It's designed that way. All right. Then I found out that because of that prep, and I was dehydrated. I wasn't just thirsty, but I started having pain. All right. I drank a lot of water when I came home, but it wasn't enough to replace the liquids that I lost in that prep. Just drinking that solution so it can clean my system out so that they could get they can get good images. And I came home and I drank a lot of water. I laid down. I was feeling fine, but then it hit me that I have to drink a lot of water every day to replace what was taken out, because the lupus naturally dries the body out. And I noticed a few days before that, my eyes are always dry. So I'm always putting in the drops, which means I'm not getting enough water. All right, so last night I started having pain in that right kidney again. So I turned over just to give it a relief and not lay on that side. And then that didn't relieve it. And then it got worse and it got worse. And then, like I said, it was a tormenting pain to me. So I really just said, I just wish God would help me, because, and with mild lupus, I can only imagine what it would be like in a severe case. So anyway, my husband finally got up and he went and got water. I was thirsty, so he went and got a bottle of water and I drank it straight down. My body was craving it. I drank it straight down, and he brought me just a little shot of cranberry juice. Cranberry juice that takes bacteria out of the kidneys. So many of you may know cranberry juice is good. Now, this one he uses has no sugar, so That's a good thing. And it's pretty much raw. It's pretty much the only ingredient is cranberry juice. So that's healthy. And when I drank the bottle of water and I took the cranberry juice, within minutes the pain deceased. Desisted, and it ceased, I should say. And I was able to go to sleep. And my kidneys feel pretty good today. So when you're taking medications and when you are, again, talk to your doctor about side effects, look it up because they may not tell you. And if it sounds like it's outrageous, run. There's another way. Don't put that in your body. It's poisonous. It's going to start attacking and it's going to start causing problems that you just didn't have to have. So what I want to do is show you some of the things. My husband said the blueberries helped him. He had pain with his kidneys. And he said the blueberries helped him. So let me show you some of the foods that you can take that are going to assist you. Now remember, I had a colonoscopy. I was dehydrated. I drank down some water. And then I drank some cranberry juice. And almost immediately, within just minutes, the pain that I had been up and down with for hours last night was gone and I was able to sleep. So here are some things, natural things that work. So apples have um, fiber in it. Asparagus, that's a green vegetable that's very healthy. Blueberries, antioxidants, and they're very, very effective. They're probably one of the highest, if not the highest, in antioxidants, and have been known to be called the star of fruits when it comes to antioxidants. They assist in that hypernutrition, getting those nutrients down into the cell so it can assist their function. And the more you get in there and you're regular with using it, then it starts to repair those cells. And when the cells are repaired, ultimately the disease can be reversed. I'm talking MS, Sjogren's, diabetes, lupus, arthritis, they can be reversed. So don't let anyone tell you that it has to come out of a laboratory. Everything that God made was good. So these um, fruits and vegetables have properties in them that will heal you. So, apples, asparagus, blueberries, blackberries. My husband said it really helped him because he had to take blood pressure medicine. And he's pretty athletic looking, and but he's got small veins, so that makes his heart work hard. So he said blackberries, they really help him. So I'm going to be eating blueberries, snacking on those, blackberries, basil. Now, this one, when you get down to cauliflower, I'm going to skip cilantro for now, but cauliflower and broccoli, I don't have that on there. Arugula, that's another one. So you can eat the cauliflower and um, the yeah, you can eat the cauliflower and the broccoli just by having a dip. Make it delightful, make it enjoy, and it will help you. It will help you. It will help you. But things like cilantro, basil, um, kale. I should have put kale up there. Kale is very good. Lemon juice, along with those, is very, very good. Put those with spinach into a blender and pack those leaves in. And if you wanted to have a better flavor, put some mangoes in there. The mangoes, yes, absolutely. Beetroots are good. I didn't care for them. I just didn't like them when we were little. But now when I order salads, because I do salads a lot, Bridget, I do have them to give me a Greek salad and keep the beets on there, and I eat the beets because they help build your blood, but they're also good for the inflammation and for the kidneys specifically. Absolutely. Now, to make and you can put those in your smoothie if you want, but take the whole package of of spinach, baby spinach. Put it down into there and then push it down. So not just lay it in there, but push it down so it's compacted. Put in there some kale. Kale is good for the kidneys. Put in there some arugula. I didn't put arugula on there. Arugula is that little, yeah, Greek salads. See, when I don't feel like going home fixing nothing, figuring out what I want, I'll stop and get a Greek salad and tell them to keep the onions and the tomatoes and very, very light feta just for a little. I probably should leave that off, but just a little bit for a little flavor, and I'll eat everything else. And that gets those vegetables in there, those raw vegetables. So now when you're making your smoothie, you want those you want those greens, the kale and the spinach, and pack it down into the blender until you just can't pack it down in there anymore. And then for sweetness, you can put in some mangoes because those are good. They taste good. They'll put a little flavor in there. Now, you can put in pineapples, and pineapples have an ingredient called bromelain, which is an anti inflammatory. Put that into your smoothie and it'll make it sweet too. Now, I was talking about arugula. Arugula is when you see, I never really liked these salads that looked like they were just weeds because they just weren't, they were the shape and everything of the leaves. It just didn't look enticing, and the colors were like red, burgundy, and it's just like weeds to me. I'm being a little cynical right now, but the arugula is the one that's got the burgundy and the reddish color in it, and that is very powerful antioxidant and healing for specifically the kidneys. So put that into your smoothie. Then you'll put a little lemon juice, just a little, maybe a tablespoon or so, and then use fresh water. I don't say tap water. I don't say spring water. I just say use some water. So, and put the water in up to the top of where the vegetables are. Blend them real good in the smoothie. Now, here's one very important tip. Make certain that you put in that um, smoothie when it's blending, put in some ice cubes because, and this is what she says in the book, Goodbye Lupus, because the blender, the longer you blend it, it has a little heat. And as you're blending it and it has heat, God bless you, Monica, it will cook a little bit. I mean, she wants every single molecule of nutrient out of these vegetables. And she says sometimes it'll get a little hot down there. So where it's cooking or where it's blending at, she said put ice cubes in and that will prevent it from taking in any heat. And you can put it in the refrigerator and store it. So I started doing that and I was doing perfectly fine. My joints were going down. I may have suffered a couple of flares with a little bit of a rash on the back of my neck, but I know that was because I was throwing in things I shouldn't have. But I was doing very good. And then I had the colonoscopy, and that prep dehydrated my body and caused that terrible flare up last night, and it was painful. I talked to God in the first person, in the second person, and the third person. So I found out that all of that suffering could have stopped earlier because when my husband got up, he gave me again just a bottle of water, and that bottle of water, God bless you, Monica, and that bottle of water, it hydrated my kidney. And after being up and down all night long, and all I had to do was get a bottle of water. So yeah, oh, you know about it. Okay, then we are going to help get these diseases reversed. All right, but when they tell you things like, nope, you can't do anything. Well, yeah, you're going to tell me I can't do anything but take medicines, and they have side effects, and they're going to do all kinds of other things to my body. So if you're going to be that aggressive about me taking medicine, then I'm going to explore other options and let's just see what is going to help. So this helped me. So he gave me that, and he gave me that raw cranberry juice. That cranberry juice with no sugar. It was pure cranberries squeezed. That's all it was. And so I only had to take a little bit. It wasn't concentrated, but it was pure. And I drank that, and that kidney found relief. So, yes. So I had to come on here today and tell you last night was a bad night, but here's how we got out of it. And here's what I'm going to do going forward. When I go to the restaurants now, if I get an appetizer, it's probably going to be something very light. Not even I don't even want anything fried because there's grease, and so that grease has to go through my kidneys and all my other filters. My pancreas and all those other filters, and then it gets down into the cells, and then you got to get that out. So just keep that out of the way. I'll just get something either baked, but I'll definitely get a Greek salad. And I am definitely going to the produce markets, Randazzle, and getting myself the veggie trays. And I don't care to eat carrots, just to sit up and, crunch on them. But my husband will make a smoothie for me. And carrots are very, very good. They've got the vitamin K, vitamin A, so I need that. So there you are. This flare up was pretty bad, but that's how we get out of it. So now I'm going to go upstairs. I've had a very reasonable meal today. I had a little bit of a protein drink, so I'm not just eating to be eating, but just killing some of these hunger pains because I'm just still leery about what's going to make me hurt. So I had that this morning, and then I'm trying to remember what I had as an appetizer, but oh gosh, it was something with a dip too. Oh gosh, I can't remember. But anyway, then I had the Greek salad. And so the less you eat, your stomach shrinks a little bit, so you're not doing that damage to your body and putting the demand on yourself to go and keep eating because you're stretching your stomach out. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at with this chronological vlog. And I want you, when you come on, if you have anything you'd like to contribute. If even if you're a person that is suffering with uh, suffering with any of these diseases, you know, Sjogren's, which is inflammation of the skin, um, arthritis, the inflammation of the joints, these autoimmune diseases, diabetes, which is going to be the uh, and that's going to be where your pancreas is having problems. Now, oh my gosh, we're going to talk about pancreas. We're going to talk about cancer because there's new information, and everyone feels that cancer is just it. That's it, and you have to go chemotherapy, and you have to go with the radiation, and then the treatments, and can you survive it? Will you beat it? It's a terrible thing to have to go through, but there are natural things that are out there that are 10, and I'll just say this one, sour sop tea, because it is 10,000 times more powerful than chemotherapy. And there is one of the elders at the church, and she was dying from stage 4 cancer. She was supposed to be deceased in January, but she's been doing this, and then with prayer and other things she's been doing. And when she went in, they checked, and her numbers were all clean, and she is cancer free. And I'm telling you, when it seems like you don't have age on your side and it's stage 4, it's like a matter of time. People resign themselves, and it just doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so I'm going to come back on. We're going to do another one. You can feel free to go to Reset Forever Ministries on YouTube. That's Reset Forever Ministries. And let me know some of the concerns you have. But by all means, do yourself a favor. And if you have someone that you love that is suffering, thank you. If you have someone that is suffering that you love or that you know of, or if it's you, go now, right after this live, go to YouTube and type in Goodbye Lupus and look at some of her videos and find out there are ways that we can find relief and find solutions to these sicknesses. All right. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining. And I had to tell you because the suffering was very bad. Once I got past it, I couldn't wait to get here and tell you all. If you know someone going through this, let's help them out. Okay? Flare ups are very, very tormenting. All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you for joining. And I hope you'll be back with us when we come back again, whenever that'll be. Thanks so much. I'll watch for your comments on Reset Forever Ministries on YouTube, Facebook, and then also Dr. Valerie Simpson on Facebook. All right. God bless. Jesus.